Welcome back to Gooner Pavilion, and Arsenal leaves Stamford Bridge 3-2 in the first leg of the Carabao semi-final. And it's a result that tells two stories at the same time. On the one hand, Arsenal did a lot right. On the second hand, Chelsea leaves this match with a lot of hope, still hope alive that it can turn something around in the Emirates. It was a game for the neutrals that would absolutely love, but we know what we do here. This is our three ups, three downs on the Arsenal versus Chelsea game. Let's get into it. Okay, let's start with what Arsenal did well. Number one, set piece authority. Arsenal goal came from a reliable source. Set piece, ole ole. It's something that we do very well. And in knockout football, everything matters, especially set pieces. Ben White's opener set the tone in this game. Intelligent movement, clean execution, and then Victor Gyökeres' goal, again coming from a second phase action, scoring that goal. And Arsenal consistently won the territory. And the numbers show that. 9 corners to Chelsea 6. It was something that I stressed in my preview that we wanted to get as many corners in this game because Chelsea are vulnerable to it. And they scored from them. But it was also something that we scored from, but we'll leave that. So I mean, for me, I always think that when it comes to set pieces, it's preparation meeting opportunity. Something that Arsenal are well good at. And a semi-final away from home, I think that's the kind of reliability that you want to have. Second up for me, Ben White's all action performance, right? So this was one of Ben White's most complete performance in a long time. The poor lad had so many injuries affecting him, starting and stopping, getting into the lineup, coming out of the lineup. But this was great, and the numbers and stats actually tell the story as well. He got a goal, an assist, over 93% pass accuracy in this game. He was calm under pressure. He was progressive when needed. He wasn't just effective, he was decisive. Ben White, from a structural point of view, gave Arsenal control in the build up. And he was also productive in the other end as well. And that combination is really rare and invaluable, especially in knockout ties. And more importantly, it does give Arsenal the ability to put Euron Timber sometimes, give him a day off, and just let him rest. So I hope Ben White is playing himself into form because that's absolutely good news considering where Arsenal want to get to this season. Third up for me, guys. For long stretches in this game, Arsenal were the better team. I think it was more likely for Arsenal to score four than for Chelsea to actually score one. And that's despite being away, guys. Despite Chelsea's energy, 17 shots to Chelsea's 9, 6 shots on target to Chelsea's 4, and we controlled transitions until late in the second half. And Arsenal looked like a team that understood the mission, understood the occasion. And the third goal, finished by Martín Zubimendi, pure class. Dancing into the ball, just being patient is a kind of goal that, sometimes you used to see Ozil score. When you're a really, really class player, you're not snatching, at the ball when you're in the box. You're waiting for the right opportunity because you know what the other players are going to do. And the Chelsea players were diving in. He just took his time and curved that ball into the post. Absolutely beautiful goal. Zubimendi, what a six. Absolutely, what a six. Um, and it was just a moment of pure class, composure, like I said, and patience, elegance, and that matters psychologically, heading into the second leg. But there's always a but, right? It's always a but. That's why we do this show. Knockout football punishes elapses, and let's talk about the downs, guys. Let's talk about the downs. 2 second half goals. Gonna be the first one. We left the momentum right open there for Chelsea, and this is the headline concern, right? Conceding 2 goals in the second half, both from similar situations, give Chelsea belief, and belief is a dangerous thing in a two-legged tie, right? But both goals are fixable errors, right? Both goals came from Arsenal. Having already established control, was there a little bit of complacency in this? Um, from Arsenal perspective, this should have been a 3-1 rather than 3-2, even 3-0 first leg. But instead it's 3-2, and it kind of changes the emotional balance a little bit, because Arsenal will feel like a defeat. But I really like what Mikel
Well, a big
Arteta said.
performance and a big win. It's very difficult to come to this place against such a team with the quality that they have in every department and do what we've done throughout the game.
And he's really, really clever, talking about what it means to go away from home and winning the game as well. And listen, Arsenal have got a run of 4 away games, right? And maybe at this point, it's all about winning, moving on to the next one, because we're not going to be perfect. Let's be honest, not going to be perfect, but it's about getting the points, getting over the line, and moving on. So listen, the second down for me is just managing the game after the third goal, because you really would have wanted Arsenal to kill this game off, kill the game state, and and just make sure that Chelsea don't even have a sniff. And it's not about panic. It was just about game management. A slight drop in defensive concentration. I mean, that first goal from Garnacho, just at the back post. What is he doing there all by himself? Who was tracking him? Lots of questions. I love to watch that game, again, and look at that and see whose man was he, before he was there at the far post all on his own. And then, a set piece defending. Come on, guys. We're usually very, very dominant in this, allowing Chelsea momentum through crowd and territory. And look, it's understandable, they're at home, so obviously the crowd is always going to be into the game. But here, knockout football, 20 minutes can matter. The final 20 minutes is as important as the first 70 minutes, perhaps sometimes even more important in certain scenarios. And then the last down for me, guys, how Chelsea's bench impact really changed the rhythm of the game. Chelsea were missing Caicedo, Reece James, Cole Palmer, and Arsenal should have fully capitalized, because that those players are going to be back, for that game. Instead, Alejandro Garnacho comes on and scores twice. That's, I mean, it's football, but honestly, that shouldn't happen. Pedro Neto was a constant threat, especially in transition. And Chelsea, like I said, are going to leave this game very optimistic, not deflated, and that's not ideal. Arsenal were the stronger side overall, but Chelsea's substitute altered the emotional flow of the tie. So let's just land this properly, right? This was a good result, not a perfect one. Arsenal proved that they can hurt Chelsea structurally. And this is what I said when I was previewing this game. The goals considered are correctable. They're not like, there are massive, massive deficiencies. Chelsea, however, will feel that they were allowed back in. And if you're Arsenal, you take the win, you keep the set piece confidence, but then you tighten the screws in the second leg. Now, there are lots of games between now and then, and Arsenal needs to manage this next set of fixtures so that they arrive at that game with a lot of psychological safety. Going into the game feeling a little bit assured. I'm going to be at the Emirates for that game, so it's going to be interesting. Really, really looking forward to that. Um, for me, the tie is still in Arsenal's hand. I know people are going to be bigging up Chelsea, and that's okay. They have 4 weeks to do all of that. Big up Chelsea and how they can turn this tie around. But I think for me that Arsenal are in control. The margin for error is slimmer, but we are going to be at the Emirates, which is really, really important for us. Okay, guys, that's really it for me on this breakdown of the Chelsea versus Arsenal game. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as well. And for all of you that watch the channel, I do appreciate all of you. I do appreciate you coming on, and please share this with as many Arsenal fans as possible. Thank you so much for this, and I'll see you at the next one.